Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. Today we are going to be tackling our patio that's under our house. So this is an area that I'm sure if you guys have followed for a while, you've seen this before, especially when we did a lot of vlogs. We always were hanging out under our house. This is definitely a place we hang out more in the winter time, like the fall and winter months, just because it's completely enclosed. And with the fireplace here, it's a really good place to keep warm but still be outside. So with all the other projects we have been doing outside, this has just kind of become like our area where we've thrown a lot of our trash in the meantime. And so we have not hung out under here for several months, and we really wanted to get this area cleaned up and looking nice before we had family over for all the different events we do in the summertime. So the first thing we're going to do is remove all of the trash that's just kind of piled up here over the last couple of months. And then we're going to give it a good deep clean before we get started on anything. Another thing I want to mention is the patio furniture that we had under here. We've had that for about 6 years, and we wanted to do something different, so we actually sold this patio furniture. And just by selling this furniture, we basically paid for this entire makeover. So that's something I wanted to mention, just because a lot of the time when we do any kind of renovation in any room, a lot of the time the money that we get for those renovations is from something we sold in that room. So if you are in a really tight budget, but you want to switch things up, I would look for pieces of furniture that you could easily sell and replace them with furniture that is more your style. The first thing Thomas did here was he painted the ceiling. This is the same paint that we used to paint our house. We had a big 5-gallon jug of paint, and we hardly even went through any of that, just painting the side and the back of our house. So again, this is just using leftover paint, but if I did have to pay for this, this would be about $30. The next thing Thomas is doing here is sanding down all of the beams, and this is just something we've done on all of our little patio areas. So I know that this is nothing new to you guys, but again, this is something that makes a huge difference, and the only cost for this is some sandpaper. This awkward bench right here, it just is in the way. Just the location of this bench made it really awkward, and you had to walk around a few different pieces of furniture just to get inside of the house. So by removing this, now we have an open pathway that just makes a lot more sense.
Okay, so right now I'm gonna work on this little accent wall between this section right here from the top of the railroad ties and the ceiling. I just don't like how bare it is, and Ashley came up with a really cool idea of what we're gonna do. So I went to Home Depot and bought these fence slats. It's gonna be a 53-inch gap, so I'll pre-cut all my pieces at 53 inches that are gonna go vertical, and then I'm kind of just gonna randomly piece in my 45 pieces, so you'll see what it kind of turns into. But the pieces that I'm using are these. They're actually super cheap. They're like 1/2 inch by 5.5 inches. And they do really good outside because they're typically for a wood fence. So they have like a lot of character in each and every piece. I'm just gonna use my pen nailer to shoot them through, pre-cut everything, and start throwing it together.
Like Thomas said, we are building some kind of little wall here. And again, this is something we've wanted to do for the last couple years we've lived here, but we could never decide on what we wanted to put here. I didn't want a fully enclosed wall. I still wanted to see out to the backyard. So we came up with this design and we kind of did it as we were going. I had a general idea of what I wanted it to look like, but as he was making cuts, we would both decide, okay, maybe put a 45 piece here, maybe put one over there. And that's just kind of how we came up with this random design. I also want to mention I am expecting, I'm sure you guys probably know that, but I'm due in just a couple of weeks. So you're probably seeing a lot less of me in these videos. It is a little bit harder to do DIYs and makeovers, especially when it's a big construction project like we have been doing. So I'm usually there to just kind of tell him my ideas or give him different designs of what I think would look best. We decided to use a semi-translucent cement stain, and I will have that color linked below for you guys. But once this was all the way dry, it really made the cement look like it was freshly poured and a brand new patio. Here I'm just removing all of the small rocks that we have here in front of the big rocks, and I wanted to instead put some black mulch down just because I love the look of that and I think it would look really pretty up here against the big rocks. Okay, I wasn't even sure if I was going to show you guys this part, but I thought maybe some of you might be interested in this little trick. So my favorite look of rocks is when they are wet. So I picked up some of this clear glaze and I just spray painted all of the rocks with this. If you were here around Halloween time, I actually shared this trick with pumpkins. I do this on my pumpkins when they're on my porch, and they give it a completely different look, just like this really pretty shine. And we always get compliments on our pumpkins. I know that's super weird, but anyway, this was a really subtle change, but I do love the way that this looks now. This picnic table is something we've had for a couple of years, and it has just sat out on our lawn through all the snowstorms and all the other different types of weather. And so he just sanded this down, and we really love the color that was underneath all of that stuff. So we decided instead of staining this table, we would just do a clear coat on top of it. For the patio furniture, I wanted an L-shaped sectional here. So Thomas just built this for us. It's really similar to the one that we did up on our last patio video that we posted. However, there's quite a few different steps. So if you guys are interested in a video specifically about this, let me know and we'd love to get that out for you guys. Another difference with this bench is we decided to paint it white, and again, this is just leftover paint from our house. These cushions are from At Home and I got them on the BOGO sale, so it was buy one get one half off. The cushions in total cost $150 and the bench with all the materials was only $40. This ottoman right here is actually made out of a tire, and if you missed that tutorial, I will have that linked in the description box below. The next thing we're doing is stringing all of these lights, and we have made the mistake by putting the bulbs in before we string them, and so many times we've dropped it and then a bunch of the bulbs have broken. So we decided to finish stringing the lights before going through and putting all of the lights in. Here are some final after shots, and I absolutely love how this turned out. This is just another place we will be spending a lot of time together as a family. And like I said, through the summer months, this is not usually where we hang out, just because we have another fire pit that we have out in the yard. But I also wanted to mention to you guys, we do have a yard tour video that will be up next. That has been our most highly requested video for the longest time. So we finally got that video for you guys. If you are interested in watching that, make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss that video, as well as any of our future videos that we will be uploading. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you guys in the next video.